YouTube video, response video to Anekantavad Andy, and antinatalism and depression, whatever, 71 or something, I don't know, ethics he calls it. That's kind of funny. And he demonstrates no ethics in his argumentation, and it's disgraceful and such. So I'll read the comments too, hopefully. Yeah, and then the update after the video.
Something that consistently comes up is the idea or the insistence that antinatalists are being strawmanned, or that their core arguments aren't being addressed. One thing that I'm sort of...
Yeah, so you just say that, like, okay, and I'm going to totally address that now. And no, you don't. You again do the perfect straw man. You set up this stupid premise that somehow you have done it and that you will do it, and you haven't done it, and you seem to have complete resistance to dealing with the arguments. They've been put in your face, and you keep making inane arguments. You make the same arguments over and over and over again. And it's been stated that that's ludicrous, that's preposterous, that's complete nonsense. And you just keep running away from it. Damn, I mean, it's just such bullshit. I'm sorry, this is goddamn bullshit, fella.
A little bit blurry about it, and it's hard to sort of nail people down because it looks like every antinatalist answers this.
So now he's going to change the subject. So he just pointed out that here we're going to talk about the premises of the antinatalist argument, and now we're going to talk about consequences and implementation and, you know, that kind of stuff.
Or addresses this issue differently and doesn't feel any obligation to answer for any fellow antinatalists.
So that's just a lie, right? I mean, you know, ask us direct questions, we'll give you direct answers. All right? I mean, it can't be any plainer than that. We've made the videos. I've certainly done it. You know who I am. So again, this is just a lie. Okay? If you have something to say, anything rational whatsoever, you have some kind of accusation to make that's direct, why don't you use my name, ask your question, I will answer it. All right? But this veiled implication that somehow we have left it on the table is bullshit.
Position on this issue, and that's that of ethics. From, say, seeing antinatalism as a simple lifestyle choice or a decision not to have kids.
Yeah, which is not the antinatalism, for the most part, you're arguing with. I mean, you are arguing with Benatar's argument, okay? And Benatar clearly says in his book, I really don't have any interest in the implementation arguments, okay? I'm just saying people should voluntarily deal with this information I'm providing, but I don't really want to even hear about implementing, doing anything. It's not my problem. I'm just making the rational argument that this presumption of human culture that having babies is a good idea is an idiotic presumption, because it's not a good idea. It's clearly a bad idea because it makes no logical sense. All it can possibly be is a selfish act, okay, for which there is no beneficiary except for the selfish mofo. That's his argument. Now you want to say he's obligated to explain to you how he's going to implement antinatalism? I don't think he is, especially when he clearly states in his book that he doesn't have any interest in that subject. Okay, I personally will answer those questions. So bring them to me, fella.
Or even not to have any more kids, or to say the...
Yeah, say to, yeah, how many times now, okay, let's have, maybe somebody could count, how many videos now I have made where I've pointed out clearly and explicitly that 85% of the human race is not replicating in a sufficient number to maintain human existence. Okay, if the average family demographics, the children produced, come out exactly the way they do for the 85% of people, the ratio of children who will choose to reproduce is too low to sustain human existence. So all they have to do is maintain that production rate of humans who really don't want to be babysitters. All right? So I guess we could argue that, well, we can't be too far away from getting it right if we only have to change 15% of the human population. But you haven't dealt with that argument. Most people are behaving as antinatalists already. Deal with that fact.
Red button, the infamous red button, and beyond, there seems to be a gigantically diverse swath of...
Yeah, that's right. Lots of people believe things for different reasons, okay? They might say that's a good policy, and they might believe it because it saves money, or because it's less harsh on the environment, or because, yeah, they can have different reasons. So what?
Ethical options, applied antinatalism, I suppose, out there.
Yeah, well, again, most people aren't even doing that, and they don't have an obligation to do that, do they? They make the argument that having kids is immoral and unethical. They don't have an obligation to say, I'm going to force you to believe what I believe. They don't have an obligation to say, this is how the future will be, this is how it will be implemented. They're making an argument saying having children is immoral. They might even say that maybe we as a society should stop subsidizing. Oh, fuck you and your goddamn autoplays. Really. I mean, I know it's not the biggest crime in the world, but you know, my Tool thing just doesn't work right anymore because Firefox sucks, and so the autoplays play. Okay. It's just distracting. Anyway, yeah, so they don't have an obligation to defend any implementation policy. I will defend it, okay? I think there's a whole progression of things you do as a society. First, you take away the subsidies, you pay people to get sterilized, okay, with a little bit of Bill Gatesian style money. It's all doable, okay? And the last hard holdouts, well, yeah, you start building orphanages and you tell them to stop it. Okay, and if you have to, you squish them in the end. But yeah, it can be a lot more humane than how we ended slavery. You know, it can be a lot less harsh than that.
How can one actually address this? How can one address the fact that whatever you say about an antinatalist's core beliefs are pretty much, or are just as likely to be contradicted by another antinatalist? What is this actually?
Core beliefs are going to be contradicted, so they just made an accusation. You're not going to back it up with any evidence or show any evidence to back that up. The core beliefs are contradicted. The core belief is antinatalism. It's in the title of your video again. That's the core belief, that having children doesn't have purposeful substance. That it's not an act of productivity, it's an act of selfishness. That might be called a core belief. I mean, there are a few antinatalists who are really just zero population growthists or some other thing. So I wouldn't even call those antinatalists because they're not really anti-reproduction. They're something else. So, I mean, I'd just rather you not include them in the group because I don't think they belong in the group. I mean, people who just want a sustainable human population at 3 billion or something, they're not really antinatalists.
Mean. For example, in the idea of vegetarianism, a lot of people believe that, or a lot of people opt not to eat meat. They think
they opt not to. Again, you're going to talk like a Professor Anton or something. It's some sort of food choice.
That's unethical or whatever, for whatever their reasons are.
For whatever their reasons are. Well, it's sort of important, okay? And you're going to make some blanket statements, and I don't know if they're accurate or not. You're going to make some implications to why people are vegetarian, and I don't think you have anything to back it up. So I think that's bogus. I'm a vegetarian for ethical reasons. Yeah, that's it. That's the only reason I'm a vegetarian. And I have absolutely no interest in the core beliefs of somebody who's a vegetarian because they think it's healthier. If that's their game, that has nothing to do with my game. The only thing that's true is we're both going to walk the same road, so we might as well push the Sisyphus boulder of vegetarianism in the same direction, because we're both walking the same road, and we got the same boulder that we think sucks.
Not doing that. And, you know, this goes into meat is murder. I would say probably the majority of vegetarians simply choose not to eat meat. They pass by the meat.
Yeah, so he thinks most people who don't eat meat aren't doing it because they have some ethical problem with slaughtering meat. So I don't know. Maybe that's true in India. Maybe they just can't find a hamburger, so they don't eat a hamburger. but I have a suspicion that it's based on the ethical Janian philosophy, the whole reincarnation thing, that the other animals are actually them in, stasis, and that maybe eating myself when I'm reincarnating might not be a good idea. It probably has something to do with some sort of rational reason other than I just choose not to eat meat. It probably does, don't you think? All right, so what vegetarians, again, are you pointing this slimy finger at? I would say most vegetarians in America, I think, I tend to believe, although I don't have a statistic, are vegetarians because they don't like the brutality of eating meat.
Section in the grocery store and don't put anything in their cart from there. But then there are people who do seem to sincerely believe that meat is murder.
Yeah, and you make them sound, again, you've marginalized them, so the majority of people don't eat meat because they just don't care to eat meat. Even they're in a culture completely dominated by that behavior, and they somehow had to migrate from what is a completely dominant human behavior to become some kind of minority that everybody scowls at the restaurant or anything else when they ask for, I'd rather just have a salad. So they went from being part of the accepted majority to being part of a kind of maligned minority, and they did it for absolutely no reason. That's your theory. Well, it's a shitty theory, it's offensive, and this just demonstrates that you really don't give a shit about the truth here. You don't give a shit about making an argument with any integrity. All you care about is being polite. That's it. That's your only ethic. You'll be a liar and a slanderer, and you'll just be fucking polite, and therefore it's okay. Well, I'm calling you on it. You're not okay. You're a motherfucking liar.
What would antinatalist ethics be? And I suppose I'm asking antinatalists then.
Well, yeah, and it's sort of directly been stated to you, okay? It's stated directly in Benatar that you're causing something harm by nataling it. And then antinatalists like myself will give you the argument that even if you're not causing harm to every living thing you ever make, even though you could possibly make a living thing that's of some sort of merit, which I'm saying isn't impossible, I'm saying it's not likely, but even if you could, it still doesn't matter because you're imposing on the ones that are going to pay the high price, the ones who are going to get the short straw that you're going to pull out of your ass and shove up their nose, and that is an act of grotesque imposition. It's a crime against their right not to be disturbed by your irresponsible, reckless, unproven, uncontrolled experiment. You don't have a right to build a nuclear power plant in your backyard and impose the radiation risk on somebody else. That's just a simple ethical equation. Any asshole could understand that. And you don't seem to be capable of it. And you don't seem to be capable of even acknowledging that it's an argument and even attempting to make a counter argument to why you have a right to impose your the negative impact of your reckless, irresponsible behavior. Why do you have a right to be reckless with something else's welfare?
It's just I don't want to strawman antinatalists or...
Liar. You do want a straw man. It's clearly that's all you're about is a straw man. I'll point that in the comments section where you make another absolutely ludicrous statement where you associate, again, sex with procreation, where you argue that some antinatalist is somehow obliged to tell people they can't have sex to be an antinatalist, which is a ludicrous, idiotic association in the 21st century. I mean, maybe you should read some modern books instead of just the Buddha. Maybe you ought to get some new books, and you might find out that we understand biology now. We understand how babies are made, and there's a whole bunch of ways to prevent sperm and egg finding each other.
Imply that they're totalitarians when they are not. But a lot of people...
Well, totalitarian, right. So you're a totalitarian if you say, I'm going to pass a law that says you can't own a bazooka. Or I'm going to pass a law that you can't have a nuclear power plant in your backyard. I'm a totalitarian if I say you can't trespass on something else's welfare. that you can't do a high-risk experiment on biological sentient masses. All right, we have laws against people owning exotic animals. Are those all totalitarian? If the majority of people believed it was ethically wrong to enslave animals in kill camps and slaughter them for your silly indulgences of a food choice, would they be wrong? Would it be totalitarian for them to say stop it? Was it totalitarian for the fucking North to tell the South they can't own human beings anymore? Was that tell me, answer the question directly. Was that an act of totalitarian irrationality and irresponsibility on the part of the North? Was it? Answer the question. It's a direct, obvious, easy question. Would you call that totalitarianism?
People are disturbed by what they see as the implications of antinatalism, particularly those heading in the general direction of the red button.
Yeah, well, again, this is a unique philosophy where the winners, the people who are attempting to defend this thing against the loss, have no vested interest. Yes, there is no vested interest. They have no personal interest in the end game scenario, so they don't need the game board to survive the end. So yeah, that's sort of the game here. I mean, I could probably think of some analogy, but it might be some kind of thing where yeah, you just don't care. Another fucking autoplay. What happens because there's no vested interest in their existing a future. So they don't have to worry about collateral damage to the future because their plan is that there isn't one. I mean, it should be you should be able to understand how that creates a unique circumstance where red button kind of rhetoric becomes relevant. But again, you do probably understand that. You just don't care, and you're going to make the slimy argument anyway because it has, some sort of it has some sort of tread with emotions. It's another appeal to emotion. Ooh, the red button, emotional button. Yeah, right. That's the one you're hitting, fella.
So I would just like to see what antinatalists would, what steps they would take to apply their philosophy.
Well, look, this has already been gone over. Again, our philosophy is already being applied by 85% of the human race. There's only this 15%, might even just be 10%, who's having 3 and more children. All right, it's a small percentage of females who have 3 or more children, and that's how many it takes to sustain human population. And the more people who don't have any kids at all, the higher that number has to go to maintain human population. So the more civilized the world becomes, the less people procreate, and there is a factual circumstance now where most of the children birthed will not have as many kids as their parents did. So that's the scenario. We're already on the road to antinatalism, and antinatalists are just saying, well, if you take away the subsidies for children, well, that'll help. If you put some sort of obligation on the poor to be responsible, that'll be a huge goddamn help because they just think they can do whatever they want, the reckless assholes. And they're just completely, it's already demonstrable fact that human IQ is declining because of this disproportion in birth rates. So yeah, there's all kinds of good reason to wise those bastards up and apply a little bit of responsibility. Like if you have no hope, of taking care of your kid, of paying for the bills for your kid, that maybe at worst, and you can't even afford a condom, well then God damn it, you should pull out. That should be your minimal ethical obligation, is to at least pull out, fucker. Shit.
To the real world. This is usually where philosophies run into so much trouble, as we all know.
Yeah, well, like I said, as we all know, I'm going to imply the Hitler card again. But I'm not appealing to emotion. Not much. Oh, God, you are just such a weasel. I mean, fuck this bullshit. All right, again, we could give you a whole detailed way in which people could be incentivized not to be irresponsible assholes. And it is fundamentally just irresponsible assholes who are sustaining human population. You don't want to deal with that fact, but it's a goddamn fact. The smarter the person is, the less kids they're going to have. It's a truth, fucker. Deal with it.
Thank you.
Fuck you.
Something that consists.
I mean, really, fuck you. Fuck you, you lying weasel. This bullshit straw man crap. I'm not making a straw man argument, so here's my... this would be a non-straw man video. There's no straw man here at all. And then you just build the most preposterous straw man possible. I mean, wow. What a liar you are. You're just horrid. Alright, so anyway, I'll show you just the magic little bullshit comments that these people throw out here that are just amazing. Oh, there's Dew in the Morning. I really got to come back to that. She'll probably say something incredibly stupid. Yeah. yeah, this is so stupid. Oh, there's Rose Bushy. What an idiot. So anyway, I'm hoping he did a response by now to my comment. That would be cool. So here we go. Okay, so the truckloads. Okay, here we go. So his... Damn, I wish these were threaded. Let me thread it. There's no way to... These comment sections are such fucking shit. Yeah, they really are. I mean, the alternative to sort by time, no, these aren't sorted by time. That's a lie. YouTube is a liar also. Preposterous liar. Alright, so now I gotta find my comment again, and then I might be able to find the original comment. I don't know. I don't know how this is not... I did not respond to Rose Bushy's comment. Well, here it is. Okay, here's the comment I responded to, which was a response to Rose Bushy. Limited family size, voluntary celibacy, promoting awareness, and all of that might fall under the rubric, but that is not antinatalism to me either. So he's going to tell us what antinatalists are for. So there's no antinatalists. It's not. These are primary, fundamental, the first core arguments being made by antinatalists is that it's really easy to prevent yourself from having babies. It's a choice, okay? It's not something else. It's a choice you make, all right? And you just change your behavior, okay? So yeah, even promoting awareness, creating incentives. You could have added that, creating incentives. But you didn't. Taking away subsidies. You didn't add that. These are all arguments all antinatalists have made. So this is just a lie. You're not saying this isn't a straw man? It isn't a straw man to misparaphrase and lie about people like this? Well, anyway, so he puts in voluntary celibacy. Who's arguing for voluntary celibacy? Who's saying people have to be celibate? This is a fucking idiotic argument. It's goddamn 2012, and this fucking lunatic can't separate sex from procreation. I mean, I commented quite logically, voluntary celibacy. So you have never had sex if you don't have kids. I can believe Rose Bushy only got lucky once, but the rest of us, the vast majority, have better tricks to avoid baby making. Junk arguments like this kill your credibility. So let's see what he said to that. So the truckloads of credibility I once had with you are gone forever, are they? Woe is me. No, I'm just pointing out how this is your kind of argumentation that have made you incredible from the beginning, that continue to make you incredible, that earn you the title liar, straw manner, pussy asshole who doesn't deal with the core arguments. This is why you have been labeled suck. Okay, this is why you suck at making an argument. You suck as a human being. You're a lying, slandering, motherfucking piece of shit, and you deserve it because arguments like this are so fucking insane, especially coming from some asshole who says other people are appealing to emotion. If fucking making us sex attackers isn't a goddamn abuse of appeal to emotion, I don't know what is. I mean, it's almost worse than you throwing the Hitler card at me is to say that I'm somehow anti-sex. I mean, goddamn, I so much want to just hit you in the fucking head with my dick. I mean, fuck you and that bullshit. No anti-natalist is obliging anybody not to have sex. That is a motherfucking idiotic, insane, goddamn lie. So fuck you. Fuck you and your troop of morons who apparently have never had sex because you don't have babies. I should just count how many babies you have and then I'll know how many times you had sex. Stupid fucks. Alright, let's do the do in the morning thing just because this ought to be funny. Benatar. Those who do indeed decide to have children might do so for any number of reasons, but among those reasons cannot be the interest of the potential child. No, because that child doesn't exist yet. Oh, please. We're talking about the decision to procreate. You still don't think it was, you didn't make a willful decision to have a baby. You just said, I'll just walk around and if one pops out of my vagina, I'll just say, holy shit, look, a baby popped out. So that's how ignorant you were. That's how unplanning you were. You didn't buy a cradle. You didn't think about buying maybe a little pink or blue blanket. You didn't get any rattles. You didn't prepare in any way whatsoever. You just sat around and said, I wonder if a baby will pop out of my vagina. Yeah, well, I can almost believe that. I mean, you're almost dumb enough. Yeah, I mean, it's believable. The life of a person is not just some isolated biological existence. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know. The life of a person is not just some isolated biological existence. I'm sorry. It's a biological existence. It's a material, physical thing that we're made out of. We're not Ghost Dad or something. We're not Power Rangers. We're not Ninja Turtles. I mean, this is fucking idiotic. It is intrinsically connected with other people. I don't even know what that fucking means. How so? I mean, the first people who were born on Easter Island, you know, all they knew was family. Well, family, parents, grandparents, grandchildren. Well, look, you're all so nepotistic here. The only people you care about is family, parents, grandparents, grandchildren. Huh? Is that it? And the rich palette of relations among them. So that's how you look at the world, probably. You probably are some kind of eugenic, bigoted lunatic. You know, I have to get my genes on planet Earth. My genes, my genes, my genes, my genes. Yeah, you seem like the type. Ugh, you people are grotesque. You're grotesque. These arguments are so fucking lame and idiotic. Children aren't material things. Enough of the video. Okay, so let's do the update part. Get this over with. Oh, I hate being on this planet. Planet of the asshole. And that's who's breeding, the assholes. The bigger the asshole, you probably could do an experiment like that. You could probably measure the diameter of somebody's asshole, and it'll tell you that they're probably more likely to have kids. Literally. Literally. It's planet of the big, fat, gaping asshole. Alright, moral relativism. So I did a video on this whole subject of the ethical equations and how we make them. So I'll probably do a volume 2 or 3 or 4 eventually, someday, maybe, possibly. Stickam from Saturday night, the MP3 file. The what the fuck video. Yeah, it's kind of an off week, so it's kind of an off what the fuck, I think. Hungry, happy, hope. Hunger, happy, hope. It's just about the things that do motivate us and the fact that there's not much to it, really. It's sort of about the addiction game, the need, and that's all there really is. Ephilism, it is simpling. Oh, so this is an ephilism video. So yeah, so somebody who wants the core arguments from the ephilist point of view, from the this is the story of what life is on Earth, well, deal with one of these ephilism videos. There you go. There's another one of them. Pussy shit fuckwit effect. Yeah, that was response video to the asshole conference report. Who is a total fucking asshole creep motherfucker. Simple complexity. I don't remember, but it's a good video, of course, because I made it. Pessimism Life, Professor so that's the YouTube video. So that's the last update video. So that's on YouTube. So there you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 videos and an MP3 file. There you go. That's, yeah, okay. Not bad. Or it may have stopped. You stop script now, or you can continue and see the script will complete. I don't know what that means. Warning, unresponsive script. Cool. I do have to fix some issues with the script on this page. But, no, I don't have to do it now. I'll do it someday. There are so many things I got to do, and I just don't have any time. I need people. I need people. Our robots, competent robots would do. But I don't think I can get me any of those. So anyway. Alright, so I think that's enough. So, yeah, these are the video thingy things. I'm not going to update Fred's website anymore. There's still a link to it. No, there isn't. Yeah, so I guess it's irrelevant. Yeah, fuck him. Yeah, no one was making videos over his site anyway, so fuck it. Yeah, I mean, there was that old Scottish guy, but who the fuck needs? The world really doesn't need the input of another old fucking retarded Scottish guy. They all are way too lead painted over there. Yeah, there must be a lot of lead in the dirt over there. They're all dumb motherfuckers. Except for, whatever his name is, David. David seems pretty reasonable. Maybe he doesn't eat dirt like the rest of them, so he doesn't get lead poisoning. Anyway. God, we're doing the morning video. Oh, great. That'll give me something to laugh at. That'll cheer me. Alright, so enough of the video. So I'll see you next time and such. So forth and whatnot. Take care now, you hear?